All right, welcome everybody to another Turner's Outdoorsman podcast. We are super excited today to welcome our CEO, Bryan Harris.
Yeah,
who
man,
we have
myth,
not
legend.
had the pleasure of having on the show yet. Welcome, Bryan.
Thanks for having me.
We're super excited today to talk to you. We wanted to do a Glock update, right? That's kind of the hottest thing going right now in Turner's world, and I think probably in the California gun market right now is what the heck's going on with Glocks. You know, we had a ton of guns, we've sold a ton of guns, and I think now that it's getting a little thinner, people are starting to wonder what's going on. If there's been any change to what's going on legally with the laws, we'll talk about. But we know you're a super busy guy and you're trying to get more and more Glocks that you can allocate and find for us. So just give us a quick update. What's going on with Glocks?
So we get almost zero communication from Glock. So most things we get either some information from distributors, and distributors get very little information from Glock. So it's everything's taken with a grain of salt. But my best guess, based on what I've heard multiple places and just feelings I get, is that we will get, I'm going to guess, a few thousand more Glock, which may sound like a lot, but that's like a couple weeks of sales right now. And we currently have about a 5-day supply based on current sale trends. The only one that we're 100% sure we're getting is the Glock 29s, the compact 10 millimeters. So the stores are taking deposits on those. We are doing, we're waiting for the Glocks 19s and 17s, which that's about the only ones we think that we're confident that we will get more. We're not taking deposits on those, but we do believe we will get hundreds of each of those. Again, which is not, that's just, a few weeks of sales.
Yeah, not enough to sustain us. And if for people listening today and tomorrow that we post this, we have a few Glocks still around. I think there's several hundred still in the store. So the best bet for those guys, either jump online and buy them online if you can. If not, our online search, you can look up a style and it'll say if stores have any inventory. And if not, go the old-fashioned route, pick up the phone, call your local store or call stores maybe close to your work where you don't mind commuting to, and just ask them what they have. Because I just looked before we came down here to jump on the podcast, and there's a mix of 17s and 19s and some 26s, 27s. There's kind of a good selection, but they're just not all in one location. And some of them, I mean, there's one or two or five. It's getting pretty slim.
Right. Yeah. We have 22s, 23s, 26s. We really might have one or two in the entire chain, and we may get some more of those, but we're not taking deposits because I don't feel comfortable that we're going to get any good quantities of those. And 35s we have in stock, but no 34s. 21s are gone, and all the compensated ones are gone. All those are gone.
And, we talked about Glock a lot. We did a whole episode on it, and it was very well received. But there's a couple other guns that are affected. It sounds like you're doing everything you can to get more Glocks on the way. As we told people, and we'll kind of tell people again, go into your store, call your store. If you see a Glock you want, buy it now. It probably won't be here tomorrow at the pace we're going, so jump on that. But there's been some other models with this new legislation that's affecting Glocks. It's also affecting the Daria DY9, which is a new pistol, newly added to the roster. That's a Glock clone. It's like that Glock 19 size. It's a pretty neat gun. It's super popular on the internet. I think we sold our first 500 before we even got guns into the warehouse or had displays. And Bryan and I were sitting in the airport the other day, and Daria called us with an opportunity to buy everything they had left. So we have several thousand of those guns coming. We'll have the first shipment is leaving Daria tomorrow, so we should see some guns next week. We'll do an email blast when we get those to let you guys know to jump online or go in your store and buy one or put a deposit. But that is one opportunity on another gun. They're a great price. I think on ad they're like $300, which is hard to beat, right? And then the big one that I feel like people have kind of overlooked is the Shadow Systems guns, right? When those dropped on the roster, everyone was super excited. They're a little more expensive gun. I think they're in that what price range?
$1,000.
So around $1,000, but they're really like a custom Glock, if you will, right?
Yeah, Glock on steroids.
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. It's something that a guy would take a Glock and do a custom shop build on it. And we're trying to get Trevor from Shadow Systems on the podcast next week. We're hoping he can call in and we'll dive deep into the world of Shadow Systems. But for now, we just want to remind everyone the Glocks are going really quick. The Darias are sold out right now. We have more coming. And Shadow Systems, the inventory is getting really low, but I saw we have several hundred guns en route. So we're hoping to see those in the next week or so. Bryan, I appreciate you coming down here and giving us an update. We hope to have you on the show a little bit more, but I know you have a lot of things to get to. Anything else you want to add to this today before you run back to buy more Glocks?
No. Did they have any more questions?
Yeah. We did a little Q&A thing with the followers, but just trying to keep it on the same topic of what we've been talking about. We did have one question from a follower who was asking about if they should sell their Glock 22 or keep it. I mean, if you have any advice for that customer and follower.
Yeah, well, I think some people are looking at trying to make a bunch of money on them, and if you're trying to make a profit on it, you probably in February, guns like that will be able to make, you'll probably be able to sell that gun for $600, $700, who knows? But unless you're trying to make a profit on it, I would just keep it. I sold my Glock 34, and I think I wish I had it. Yeah. So, to me, Glock's one of those guns. My Glock 34, I shot about 12,000 rounds to it. Mm-hmm. I had 2 malfunctions, and I only did a deep cleaning on it twice in 12. So Glock guns, they're great. And like I said, the Shadow Systems is really a Glock on steroids. So you can't go wrong with either gun.
Yeah, and then we had some more questions as well on our Wednesday Q&A. So for all the followers that don't know about that, we have a Wednesday Q&A on our Instagram where you can ask questions, and we're going to do our best to answer as many as we can. But a question I've been seeing pop up a lot is asking about parts and accessories and slides for Glocks. Can you kind of dig into what that might look like in addition to what's going on right now?
From what I understand, when they come out with a new gun, that'll all be backwards, compatible with everything. But they'll continue to support all the the Gen 3 guns that we're selling. There's tons of Gen 3 parts out there as far as getting slides. Glock had introduced slides for the 17s, 19s, and 34s at SHOT Show. We've got in a few hundred, but the sales are far exceed what we have been getting. But I do believe we're going to get some 34 slides and some 19 slides. We have like 300-400 of each on order, and it's just a matter of them shipping them.
Have they commented on whether or not they're going to continue to build those, or?
Glock gets a little bit confused on what's legal because their legal advice is not very good. That's their internal legal. The last I heard, they believe that a Glock slide had to be made in Austria to be legal to sell, which it doesn't. It can be made in the USA. So once they get their legal team understanding what's legal and what's not legal, I would imagine they would continue to make those slides in the USA, if assuming they're closing down Austria. And those are things I don't know because they just don't communicate that stuff to us.
Since you're giving us a little bit more time, and we love to have you here for this, there's so many other questions we want to know that the customers, I'm sure, are all anxious to hear. What have you heard on new guns? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, they even as big as we are, and we're pretty big. We're the largest dealer, obviously, in the state of California. We have great relationships with all the factories, but they still keep things pretty close to their chest. But I know there's some really good guns coming, and some ones that'll be very, very popular. I can't tell you what they are, but there's some
other brands like Smith,
yes,
Springfield,
and a good. Yeah, CZ is a little bit behind, but I think in 2026, you're going to be seeing a lot of new guns. And on that note, the 2.0 Smith & Wesson M&P, the aluminum frame ones, they just shipped us a pretty good chunk, and there'll be more, behind that. And we did already get some of the polymer frame 2.0s. These are ones that have the optic cut.
So this is the first batch of metal, 2.0 metal.
Yeah, they're on the way.
we've talked about here a bunch is a super sound gun. I know you own a couple
Yeah.
of them. I know that's what Gunner's been shooting.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when we're talking and on social media about Glock and how everyone we've had that episode where we told everyone to go buy a Glock, but there's a lot of people who aren't going to miss a Glock and because they love these M&Ps, right?
Yeah, and the thing about a Glock versus for everyone's a little bit different. I know like Rob, he loves Glock because when he pulls the gun out, it's a natural point of aim, but it does have kind of a strange angle to the grip for some people. So, and that's with the M&P because of the back straps and shadow systems. They also have different back straps to change the angle of the gun. So when you pull it out of a holster, you can actually change the natural point of aim, which is a big plus that Glock does not have.
And that's what Daria has. They have that grip module that I have not played with that very much.
And some of those grip modules do different things. Some just make it so it fits a larger hand or smaller hand. Some actually change the angle of the barrel when you naturally point it. So the Smith & Wesson and the shadow systems, that's what those do.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. And of course, all the new stuff's optics cut.
Yep.
And we're seeing that grow in popularity. How have you adapted going from, I know when you first started shooting your Glock 34 in competition, you were shooting iron sights, and like a lot of us, you transitioned. I know a lot of people have asked that in the past. Tell us a little bit about your journey going from iron sights to red dot.
Yeah, I think it's the same as probably everyone. For everyone's the same, but at least that's what I hear is all of our, when you're first drawing the gun out of your holster, it takes time to find that red dot, but you just have to practice dry firing at home and doing, drawing at home and find out where that natural point is and make sure you're finding your red dot. But that's what slows you down. But once you got it on, especially shooting steel, it's much easier to hit small things. And again, once you have that red dot in front of you, it's far better than, especially when you get older like me and I wear glasses. It's a real thing because it's, you on a front, on an iron sight gun, you have to focus. You have 3 points of planes. You've got the target, the front sight, the rear sight. You can only focus on one of them. And for us or anyone shooting, obviously you focus at the front sight. And it didn't work for my glasses because it just doesn't. So the red dot is you just use your regular glasses and you can just see. So it's a game changer for anyone who wears glasses. The iron sights is just not a thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just getting used to, like you said, on the draw, right? Rarely will I lose it transitioning, but it's that first out of the holster, presenting the gun up and you go, shoot, where's your dot? And a lot of times the more you practice and the more you're doing that draw, you just get used to it. Just like and before red dot, it was always front sight, right? It's just having to adapt to that. So it's just really range time, I think, what it boils down to.
How many reps would you say? I know it's case based off each person, but I heard you're like the master of putting in work and pulling out of the holster, what you were telling me earlier. But how many reps do you think that would take for somebody that wants to get into it? Yeah, like, pulling out of the holster to get used to that red dot.
Well, to be honest, I'm still working on it. Sometimes I pull my gun out and the red dot is a little bit high. So at least I know where it's at, because in the beginning you don't even know where to move your gun because you're like, where is it? You're moving the gun all over the place. But I know when I naturally pull it out, my dot is a little bit, if I don't see it, it's high. So I know I need to bring it down. But I would say it's many hundreds of draws before. Everyone's different. Some people will get it right away. So it's really going to depend on, again, I was shooting Glock 34, like I said, like 12,000 rounds for for years. And that angle is different. So it's going to take a while to get used to whatever gun you're shooting. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good deal. Did you have any other questions from the customer side of things?
Yeah, I could check one more time, but I think just to highlight how we were talking about the DY9s, how Daria, they actually just dropped that YouTube video yesterday.
I saw that too.
For anyone who's listening, go to their YouTube. You'll see some more updated information about Turner's Outdoorsman. They specifically include us in it. And you'll probably get a better idea and additional information about what you'll be seeing for the DY9s.
How's the Springfield Echelons doing?
They're doing really well, Yeah, we're only getting the one SKU, the one that came out first. The other ones have not We've not got those yet, but I think once those come in, right now everyone's just buying Glocks. I mean, our Glock sales are up about 400%. So that's a big deal. So a lot of people that are wanting to buy a gun, they're just getting the gun they no longer will be able to buy.
Yeah, and then we talked about that a ton in our original video about, like, you think about your kids. Like, I brought up a point, like, if you have kids that want to shoot, or you want to get them into shooting later when they're grown, Glock's such a staple gun. It's a good idea. Like we were talking about having an extra 34, extra 19 or something like that. But fortunately, there's still a lot of guns that are really strong, has a huge following. I know we get asked weekly about Walther PDPs.
Weekly.
They're doing the compact and the full size, and they started out really rocky. I know we could barely get guns out of them outside the initial shipment, but things are rolling pretty good now. Gunner kind of ambushed me with that question when I came down to do this, but I know I saw 100 guns show up last week.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say all the original kind of OG deposit guys have all got their guns. I think what we're seeing as far as back order now is the people that have bought guns in the last probably 3 or 4 months, 2 to 3 months. But I'll take a look and get you an update you can put up on social media. But I know that their production capabilities have improved drastically, and they're shipping a lot more guns now.
Yeah, I was in direct contact with one of our followers, and he was trying to give me some updates and some details, because I don't blame him. If I had a pre-order on a PDP, I would want it as soon as possible. But just trying to be as transparent as I could with him, and eventually, I think he was not early in the line, but he was pretty up there. And once he responded, that was about last week, that he got his PDP, and he was super stoked. So that's a good sign for at least our customers that they're getting what they ordered and they're getting what they wanted. I know it took a little bit longer, but it's just I'm happy at least that we have that forward communication coming from
and
customers.
staccatos are still doing really well.
Yeah,
it's surprising. We always look at how many to order, but I feel like we're getting what we need on a monthly basis, and still selling through most of that inventory, which is super exciting. It just shows there's, even with the the 11% tax and things like that, there's still a lot of people that are interested in buying guns. There are a lot of cool new guns on the market that motivate us all to go out there and buy new guns and go shooting, which is super exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to 2026.
All righty. You want to take a break here? All right, we're back, guys. We still have Bryan Harris here, which is super exciting. And we're talking a little bit offline about some of the other questions that we get and kind of some mysteries, right, in the industry, what's going on. And Bryan has been here at Turner's a very long time. How many years have you been here at Turner's, Bryan?
44.
44 years. So that's pretty much the lion's share of time of what Turner's has been open and operating. So you've seen it all. When you started, how many stores were there?
Well, I started in store 5. That was Culver City. Yeah, so 5.
Pretty awesome. So what else is going on industry news-wise that, the customers don't see and hear? Everything you do, hear on a day-to-day basis. What else is going on out there in the gun world?
The one thing that does come up occasionally, and, I ask for more information, but it's another one that's pretty dark as far as, they're just not, they don't give us any information. That's Remington. So, Remington's been basically out of the business for a year and a half now, I think. They moved and, they just haven't recovered from that. So anybody who has a deposit or is waiting for a gun, from a deposit 6 months ago or whatever, because we were told we were going to get pretty good shipments in starting January of this year, and we never got them. So we probably have some deposits, but there's, I don't think you're going to see any Remington shotguns probably this year. And the long guns, the rifles, same thing. There's no real communication on that. So I think if we see anything, it's going to be Q1 2026.
Wow. And unfortunately, Mossberg's filling in that gap, right? I mean, I've seen that not only from a SKU point has grown, but from a popularity and the quality of gun or caliber of gun, no pun intended. Is amazing.
Yeah, Mossberg's become one of our top vendors. It's definitely our number one shotgun. And their guns even up to $1,200 or sell, and they are solid movers. We're going to have, I don't know if we can start talking at all about the cover or even a sneak peek or anything.
We can definitely talk. I know, this time of year, we're sitting here in November. And we always see kind of a little lull, right, from guys that are trained to know we're going to have a big Black Friday promotion and a kickoff to our holiday flyer on Black Friday, which is, help me out here, Tim, November 28th. November 28th,
Or
Black Friday is at
27th.
launch.
It's Black Friday.
Black Friday
It's
starts
the
on
day
Black
after
Friday.
Thanksgiving. I
Yeah.
think it's the 28th, but Brian's decided to give you a super sneak peek on that. But yeah, we have our flyer coming out. It's going to be a 48-page flyer. This version's mailed, so all you guys who are have bought a gun in the last couple of years, you should be getting that flyer mailed directly to your mailbox. And if you're haven't bought a gun or haven't signed up in the old days to get a hard copy of the flyer, you'll get it emailed to you that probably Monday before Thanksgiving. So if you're not signed up for the TDC Club, I encourage you now to go to turners.com and sign up for the TDC, the Turners Discount Club. It is free, or you can go to our app, the Turners TDC app, and sign up there as well. And you can get that all the ads sent directly to your mailbox. But a pretty exciting ad. Brian, you want to touch?
Yeah, I'll give you some sneak peek without really, you won't know exactly what it is, so because I can't tell you. But let's just say one of the items is a very popular 22 rifle, and it's going to be stupid cheap, and it's going to be very hot. We've got a bunch of guns, so we should be able to take care of everybody for at least a week or so on sales, is my guess, before we run out. Another gun is a bolt action 22. That's about all I'll tell you, but it's another one that's below cost. And we have several hundred of those. And then we have two others that are, one's a hunting pump shotgun, and the other one is a semi-automatic home defense shotgun. All four of those. And then there's a 40 cal pistol, and all five of those will be below cost of any of our competitors. So if you take our flyer in, anyone says they match prices, don't count on that. When you take in and say, hey, I don't have a local Turner's, or it's 2 hours away or whatever, can you match this? They'll either throw you out or do something, but they're not going to match the price. So I'm pretty confident of that.
Super exciting news. So you guys heard it here first. Make sure you mark your calendars and tell your wife she's shopping on her own because you're going to be at Turner's on Black Friday in the morning.
And we still have, they can buy multiple guns. The law on the 3 guns, it's going to a 3 gun limit, but I think that's a July.
Yeah.
So you still can buy 5, 6, 7, 8 guns.
So now's the time to do it. I'll put them all on one dross, right?
Yep.
And save money.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me on our Wednesday Q&A. They're like, "Can you give me the homie discount?" And I'm like, I can't give you the homie discount, but I can promise you that the Black Friday sale's coming, and it's basically going to be like a homie discount. So they heard it from Bryan Harris first.
Yes.
I don't think you can beat those bills. Those, honestly, the price, that's better than a homie discount what you're getting on the flyer.
Yeah.
All righty. So I think we covered it all here. We talked about a Glock update, which I know everyone was excited to hear. We kind of touched a little bit on the Daria situation with the new DY9s. We should have more of those next week. You guys can run out to the store now, put deposits on those. We have that inventory locked up and coming, and as well as shadow systems. I know inventory's light, but guys can get in the stores and put deposits on those, and we don't have any concerns getting those guns delivered in time for people to pick those up. We talked a little bit about some of the other new guns and what's tracking with those, but I think we covered it all here today. We're super excited to have Shadow Systems in studio via the web next week. So that should be a super exciting episode. I want to give a big thanks to Bryan Harris, who took time out of his busy day. I think he gave us a little more time than he thought he was going to be able to. So that's super exciting. So thank you, Bryan. We really appreciate it. We really hope to see you back on here.
Sounds great.
Next time we'll give you more of an update. We'll let you plan more. We won't ambush you. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.